Man like Robbie, welcome along to MLR Daily. And Chelsea, I say this every week actually, Chelsea go rumbling on. 5 more wins I calculate, and the title is theirs. The title will be going to West London yet again, and quite an emphatic victory in the end. 3-1 winners over Bournemouth, and who's going to stop them? I mean, got to take your hats off to Tottenham. They're doing their bit. They had the early kickoff yesterday. Stunning goal in that game by Dele Alli to get them on the way. A real emphatic victory over Watford, 4-0. Tottenham really playing some good stuff at the moment, but they're not going to catch Chelsea in my view. You know, Tottenham are doing really well, unbeaten at home this season, but Chelsea just seem unstoppable at the moment. In the other games, Manchester City winning by 3-1. Aguero yet again with another goal this season. I mean, would you believe that for a part of this season he was dropped out of the team, but he's still been scoring goals for fun. And that was a big 3 points for Manchester City as they tried to get into the top 4 spots. Quite a damaging defeat for Hull City, but I suppose when they would have looked on this game, this would not be the sort of game that they're looking at and thinking, well, we might be able to win this. They're looking at the other games around them. So they stay in the bottom 3. But, you know, Hull really could have done with something out of the game because of their plight. Middlesbrough as well. For me, they look doomed now. They really needed 3 points out of the game. Yet another draw for them. 0-0 versus Burnley, the draw specialist as well. It had draw written all over it, this game, if you were going to mark it on your coupon, based off of the form of both of the teams. And for Middlesbrough, for me, it's now looking that they're going to drop. Liverpool got a very important win, a comeback. They were losing 1-0, and then all of a sudden, a couple of substitutions. Coutinho comes on, scores. Firmino comes on, scores. And Liverpool, massive 3 points for them. Really important. If they would have dropped those points, they would really be in trouble of giving up their top 4 status at the moment. But an important win for Liverpool, and keeps them in those top 4 positions. West Brom 0, Southampton 1. Geordie Classy with a great goal in the game to get all 3 points for Southampton. This next game was the big 6-pointer. It was West Ham United playing Swansea at home. West Ham, terrible record. Slaven Bilic, as I said yesterday, under extreme pressure. A lot of people suggesting if he lost the game, he'd be sacked. Both teams in danger of going down, especially Swansea. They're in the bottom 3. And it was West Ham who came out on top. Kayate with a fantastic goal to win the game for West Ham, 1-0. They really, really needed that. It takes a lot of the heat off of Slaven Bilic and moves them a little bit more up the table and away from that danger zone. And, you know, there will be a lot of very, very relieved, you know, fans around West Ham, because they really, really needed to get that result yesterday. And you've got to take your hat off to Slaven Bilic. This is what you want your team to do when they're under extreme pressure. You want to see them react, and that's exactly what they did do. So those are all the results from yesterday's games. Let's just take a look at the table as I whiz through here. You see Chelsea on the top there on 75 points. Tottenham in second place with 68 points. Liverpool on 63, very important win for them, and for City on 61. And then further back you've got Arsenal and Man United yet to play. They're on 54. But you go down to the bottom, Sunderland on 20. They played today against Manchester United. Middlesbrough only on 24 points. Second from bottom. They look doomed. Swansea in big trouble as well on 28 points. And then further up from them, Hull on 30, Crystal Palace on 31, Bournemouth and West Ham now pulling away from that relegation zone. Getting into the games today now, the first one up is Sunderland versus Manchester United. Sunderland, for me, they're already down. David Moyes, of course, who used to manage Manchester United, who actually had a better record, they said, I was working out some stats the other day, at this stage of the season, than what Jose Mourinho had. You wouldn't believe that, would you? And he got sacked. So you see the difference there. But David Moyes, basically, he looks like, you know, he's just sitting on a sinking ship at the moment. Sunderland, they'll be trying to get a win in the game, but you can't see anything more than a Manchester United win. There's been some interesting comments coming out in the newspapers today from Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's really been backing the manager, Jose Mourinho. Mourinho really been getting a lot of stick recently for calling out his players in public. Zlatan also saying that he'll stay if the club sort of matches his ambition going forward. It obviously wants to play in the Champions League. One of the interesting things on Manchester United, and I kind of said this at the start of the season, and I still kind of think this a little bit, it's controversial because Zlatan Ibrahimovic has been amazing. He has been one of the buys of the season. He's been brilliant for Manchester United. But has Zlatan Ibrahimovic stunted the growth of United's young players? Because basically Rashford's not had a look in, has he? He was on fire last season towards the end of the season. He's not had a look in. Martial's not had a look in, and they're both getting criticised by the manager. He's, as Zlatan stunted that, and even when you look at Jose Mourinho over the years, it's one of the things that he's always heavily criticised for is that he never seems to bring forth youth. You know, he'll just go out and buy a load of established players and that's it. He doesn't seem to bring through young players, and again we're seeing it here at Manchester United. We hardly see anything of Lingard. We hardly see anything of Martial or Rashford. And last year, those young guys were really, really doing well. So what do you think? Do you think Mourinho holds back young players? I'm going to do that as a poll. Does Mourinho hold back young players? Is he holding them back at Manchester United this year? Because I personally would like to see more of Rashford, you know. And people say, oh, right, he's only young. But as an example, look at Mbappe, who's playing for Monaco. You know, he's 18, the guy, and he's absolutely been brilliant this season. One of the star players around Europe. And that's because he's been given a chance as a young player. Dele Alli at Tottenham, you know, given his chance, playing week in, week out, and probably, you know, you can make a case for him being player of the season. And he's only just turned 20. I think his birthday's in a couple of days' time. 21. So he's been 20. So, you know, would he have got that chance under Jose Mourinho? Let me know in the poll. Final game, of course, today is Everton taking on Leicester. That should be a great game. Leicester really on fire at the moment. Everton really, really strong at home. Really hard to call that game. I think I'm gonna go for a draw in this one. I'm gonna sit on the fence because it is really a hard game to call. And of course, tomorrow the final game of the weekend will be Crystal Palace taking on Arsenal. A game that means a lot to both of those teams. Palace to try and move away from that relegation zone. Arsenal to try and get into those top 4 places. Thanks for watching MLR Daily, and we'll be back tomorrow here on Man Like Robbie.
Man Like Robbie.